Hi everyone, my presentation is on infant formula, navigating marketing, nutrition, and everyday use. Infant formula is a manufactured substitute for human breast milk, specifically designed to provide the essential macro and micronutrients needed to support an infant's healthy growth and development during the first months of life. It serves as an important nutritional alternative when breastfeeding is not possible, insufficient, or medically contradicted. Modern formulas are carefully developed to mimic, as closely as possible, the composition of breast milk. They contain a balanced mix of proteins, fats, carbohydrates, vitamins, and minerals in forms that are both safe and easily digestible for infants. Over the years, scientific research and technological advancements have improved formula composition to more closely resemble breast milk, sometimes even including additional ingredients like probiotics, prebiotics, and fatty acids. Infant formula is used in a variety of situations depending on the needs and circumstances of both the baby and the parent. Some mothers may be unable to breastfeed due to medical conditions, such as infections, certain chronic illness, or the use of medications that can pass through breast milk and pose a risk to the baby. In other cases, mothers may experience low milk supply, making it difficult to meet their baby's nutritional needs through breastfeeding alone. Formula feeding is also essential for infants with specific health conditions or dietary requirements. In addition, some parents choose to use formula for personal, social, or practical reasons. Overall, infant formula plays a vital role in supporting infant health and nutrition across diverse situations. Whether used in full substitute or in combination with breastfeeding, it provides parents with a safe, reliable, and nutritionally adequate way to nourish their babies and promote healthy development during the earliest stages of life. In earlier centuries, when a mother was unable to breastfeed her baby, families often relied on wet nurses, women who breastfed infants that were not their own. This practice was especially common among wealthy families in Europe and other parts of the world from ancient times through the 18th and early 19th centuries. Wet nursing was not only seen as a practical solution, but also became a social custom in certain classes, where mothers were sometimes discouraged from breastfeeding due to societal expectations. However, for poorer families who couldn't afford to hire a wet nurse, feeding alternatives were much more limited, and infant survival rates were significantly lower. By the 19th century, the practice of wet nursing began to decline due to several factors. Industrialization and urbanization changed family structures and women's roles, while medical professionals began emphasizing hygiene, germ theory, and maternal care. At the same time, public attitudes shifted. Breastfeeding started to be viewed as a more personal and maternal responsibility rather than someone to be delegate. As wet nursing faded, families sought new ways to nourish their infants. Without breast milk, many parents turned to animal milk, which commonly cow's milk, as an alternative. However, unmodified cow's milk was far from ideal for babies. It contained different protein and fat ratios than human milk and lacked several essential nutrients that infants needed for healthy growth. Because refrigeration and sterilization were not yet widespread, the milk often spoiled or became contaminated, leading to severe illnesses, malnutrition, and even infant deaths. These challenges highlighted the urgent need for a safer, scientifically designed substitute. By the late 1800s, scientists and physicians began experimenting with ways to make cow's milk more suitable for infants. They adjusted fat, protein, and sugar levels to more closely resemble the nutritional composition of human breast milk. Early formulas often included added ingredients such as cream, sugar, and water due to dilute milk's proteins and make it easier for babies to digest. These early innovations laid the foundation for modern infant formula. During the 20th century, commercial infant formula production expanded rapidly as technology, nutrition science, and food safety standards improved. Companies began to mass produce formula, making it more widely available and convenient for families around the world. Government regulations and medical research helped standardize the nutrient content and safety of these products, ensuring that they met infants' dietary needs. By the mid-1900s, formula feeding had become common and socially accepted alternative to breastfeeding, supported by advancements in packaging, sterilization, and marketing. Today, infant formula continues to evolve with ongoing research aimed at improving its nutritional quality and safety. While breastfeeding remains a recommended option when possible, formula has become a vital and trusted resource for millions of families, ensuring that babies everywhere have access to the nourishment they need to thrive. Breastfeeding is important for infant nutrition, public health, and health equity because it provides ideal nutrition tailored to babies' needs, strengthens their immune system with antibiotics, and reduces risk of illnesses like asthma, obesity, type 1 diabetes, ear infections, and SIDS. It also benefits mothers by lowering their chance of breast and ovarian cancer, type 2 diabetes, and high blood pressure, while supporting health equity by promoting better health outcomes across communities. Infant formula is composed of proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins and minerals like vitamin D, iron, calcium, phosphorus, and zinc. On the right-hand side, there is a menu label of all the ingredients listed in formulas. But infant formula is carefully designed to meet the nutritional needs of growing babies by mimicking the composition of human milk. The primary protein sources are typically soy-based or cow milk protein, providing essential amino acids for growth and development. Carbohydrates come from lactose, corn syrup solids, or sucrose, supplying energy that supports daily activity and metabolic functions. Fats are derived from vegetable oils and are formulated to resemble the fat profile of human milk, which is crucial for the brain development and overall energy needs. Additionally, formulas are fortified with key vitamins and minerals such as vitamin D, iron, calcium, phosphorus, and zinc to help prevent nutritional deficiencies and support healthy bone development and immune function. There are many differences within breastfed infants and formula-fed infants. Breastfed milk provides numerous benefits for infants, especially in supporting their immune system and overall health. According to Ballard and Moreau, breast milk contains not only essential nutrients, but also bioactive components like antibiotics, immune cells, and hormones that help protect infants from infections and promote healthy development. These unique properties of breast milk cannot be fully replicated by formula, making breastfeeding a valuable source of immunological defense during early life. There are many specialty formulas for infants. Specialty formulas are intended for use by an infant who has an inborn error or metabolism, low birth weight, or who otherwise has an unusual medical or dietary problem. Some of these formulas are not available in retail settings and may be prescribed by a physician. Some examples include hypoallergenic formulas with extensively hydrolyzed protein that are effective for the treatment of milk protein allergy. In these formulas, the protein has been broken down so that it can be easily digested. Next, we have amino acid-based formulas, which contain amino acids as their protein source. These formulas can be used for infants with severe milk allergies, short gut syndrome, or other medical conditions. We also have formulas to treat a specific medical condition, such as an inborn error of metabolism. For example, a formula for individuals with PKU does not contain the amino acid phenylalanine. Infant formulas for premature infants, which may include more nutrients and calories to meet their increased nutritional needs. There are political, clinical, cultural, and social factors and forces shaping the viewpoints and guidelines around infant formula. Political factors play a big role in how infant formula is marketed and used. The World Health Organization created a code to stop companies from directly advertising formula to parents, especially in hospitals, but it's up to each country to turn that code into law. Some countries, like Norway, have strong rules that limit marketing, while others, like the US, allow more freedom for formula ads. Big formula companies often lobby governments to protect their profits, and some countries are pressured through trade agreements not to adopt strict breastfeeding policies. When governments don't find enough public health education, formula marketing often fills the gap, shaping how parents think about feeding. In emergencies, formula is sometimes donated, but if it's not managed carefully, it can harm breastfeeding practices, especially in places without clean water. Lastly, short maternity leave or poor workplace support can push parents to use formula even if they plan to breastfeed. All of these are political choices that influence how families feed their babies. Clinical factors include health experts and organizations like the World Health Organization say that breastfeeding is best for babies, especially for the first 6 months. But sometimes moms can't breastfeed or need extra help, so hospitals might give formula. Scientists work on improving formula by adding important nutrients like iron and DHA to help babies grow. However, if formula is promoted too much in hospitals, it can discourage moms from breastfeeding, which is a concern for many health professionals. Cultural factors plays a huge role in how people think about infant formula. In some cultures, formula is seen as a modern choice or a sign of being wealthy. But in other cultures, breastfeeding is very important and formula might be looked down on. Also, social rules like whether it's okay to breastfeed in public can make a mom choose formula instead. Companies use these cultural ideas in their ads in order to make formula seem like the best choice for smart or successful babies. Social factors plays a huge role when it comes to infant feeding choices. The opinions and beliefs of family members, friends, and even cultural traditions can strongly influence how parents decide to feed their babies. For example, some families may encourage breastfeeding because they believe it's the healthiest option, while others may be more supportive of formula feeding due to convenience or personal experience. In addition, social media and celebrities often share their own stories and opinions about feeding, which can shape public perceptions and make parents question their own decisions. Many parents feel pressure or judgment no matter which option they choose, which can lead them to make the experience stressful and emotionally challenging. Some may feel guilty for not being able to breastfeed, while others may feel criticizing for choosing formula. Financial factors also plays a huge role in this. Formula can be expensive and sometimes it's not easily available, especially during shortages or in certain communities. Having a strong support system can make a big difference. Encouragement from family, friends, or healthcare professionals helps parents feel more confident and reassured that they are making the best choice for their baby's needs. When parents are supported rather than judged, they are more likely to feel comfortable and positive about their feeding decisions. There are 3 main types of infant formula that parents can choose from: powdered formula, liquid concentrate formula, and ready-to-feed formula. Each type has its own advantages and disadvantages, and the best option often depends on the family's lifestyle, budget, and convenience. Powdered formula is the most common and generally the least expensive type. It comes in a can of dry powder that must be mixed with a specific amount of water before feeding the baby, because it's lightweight and easy to store. More parents find it practical for everyday use or travel. However, it's very important to prepare powdered formula correctly. Using too much or too little powder can change the nutritional balance, which may affect the baby's health. Clean water and sterilized bottles are also essential to prevent contamination. Despite the extra preparation steps, many parents prefer powdered formula because it is affordable and lasts a long time when stored properly. Liquid concentrate formula is another option that comes as thick liquid that must be diluted with an equal amount of water. It's easier and faster to prepare than powdered formula because it does not require measuring powder, but it still needs careful mixing to ensure the right consistency. Once open, liquid concentrate formula has a shorter shelf life and must be refrigerated and used within a certain number of days. Although it costs more than powdered formula, some parents appreciate the convenience and consistent texture it provides. Ready-to-feed formula is the most convenient of all the three options, since it requires no mixing or preparation. It's ready straight from the container. This makes it ideal for nighttime feedings, travel, or situations where access to clean water is limited. Hospitals often use ready-to-feed formulas for newborns because they are sterile and easy to handle. However, this convenience comes with a higher price, and the containers can take up more storage and space. Ultimately, the type of formula parents choose depends on several factors, including cost, convenience, storage space, and the baby's tolerance or preference. Some families even switch between types depending on their needs. For example, using powdered formula at home and ready-to-feed bottles while traveling. What matters most is that the baby is fed safely, receives proper nutrition, and that the parents feel confident and comfortable with their choice. One major issue related to the cost and availability of infant formula is how shortages can severely impact families. When formula becomes difficult to find, parents face tremendous stress and uncertainty. Since babies, especially those who rely on specific types of formula, cannot simply switch to another food source. A clear example of this occurred in early 2022 in the United States, when the country experienced a widespread formula shortage. This crisis was caused by a combination of supply chain disruptions, product recalls, and manufacturing shutdowns. The situation was especially critical for infants who required specialized or hypoallergenic formulas due to allergies, premature birth, or medical conditions. Many parents were forced to travel long distances, pay inflated prices online, or ration what formula they had, all of which increased anxiety and posed potential health risks for their babies. On the other hand, there are programs designed to make formula more affordable for families who struggle with costs. One well-known example is the Women, Infants, and Children program, which provides free or subsidized formula to eligible low-income families. This program helps ensure that infants receive proper nutrition during their first months of life, regardless of their family's financial situation. However, studies have found that formula-only packages under WIC are significantly more expensive in the first 6 months than packages that encourage and support breastfeeding. Because of this, the program faces an ongoing challenge. It must balance providing access to formula for families who truly need it, while also promoting breastfeeding as a healthier and more cost-effective long-term option. Altogether, factors such as formula costs, supply chain reliability, and the structure of government assistance programs all play a critical role in whether families can consistently obtain and afford infant formula. When disruptions occur, whether from economic issues, public health crises, or manufacturing problems, the effects ripple across the country, highlighting just how essential formula availability is to infant health and family well-being. It is really important to find a balance between promoting breastfeeding and ensuring that infant formula is safe, accessible, and affordable for families who need it. Breastfeeding is widely recognized for its many health benefits. It provides ideal nutrition, strengthens the baby's immune system, and helps create a strong emotional bond between parent and child. Health organizations like the World Health Organization and the American Academy of Pediatrics recommend exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life when possible. However, not every parent is able to breastfeed due to medical conditions, low milk supply, work demands, or personal circumstances. For these families, infant formula should be a reliable and safe alternative, not a risky or unaffordable one. Ensuring that every parent has access to the right resources, regardless of how they feed their baby, is essential for both health and equity. At the same time, it's equally important to maintain strict regulations on how formula is marketed to the public. Formula companies should not be allowed to use advertising that suggests their products are superior to breast milk or that makes parents feel guilty or confused about their choices. Misleading marketing can pressure families into unnecessary spending or cause them to question what's best for their child. In the past, aggressive advertising campaigns have created misconceptions about formula, especially in lower income or developing communities, leading to serious health consequences when parents were not properly informed about safe preparation and use. Instead of persuasive marketing, families should have access to honest, science-based information that clearly explains the pros and cons of each feeding method. Healthcare professionals and public health programs play an important role in sharing accurate guidance and offering support without judgment. When parents receive trustworthy information, they can make feeding decisions based on their baby's needs rather than social pressure or misinformation. Ultimately, finding the balance supports both health and fairness. By protecting breastfeeding while also ensuring that formula is affordable, safe, and transparently marketed, we help create a system where every parent feels confident and empowered. No matter how they choose to feed their baby, all families deserve respect, support, and the assurance that their child will have the best possible start in their life. During my research for my presentation, these are the references that I have found in order to help me with my research process.